Meet the ocean.
Welcome to Meet the Ocean. I'm your host, Paul North, and today we embark on a very special journey. One that will take us high up into the sky where minute ice crystals form and ends with chunks of frozen water the size of buildings collapsing into the ocean, of all places. If you're still scratching your head as to what I'm talking about, I understand. It's not every day that you get to transform into a glacier. But before we undergo such a magnificent accomplishment, I wish to remind everyone that Meet the Ocean is a non-profit, creating podcasts and other online media for educational use around the world. Our team of marine educators develop tours that visit schools and children's hospitals internationally, bringing virtual reality penguins and other interactive technology to inspire young minds to care for our planet. But to keep doing so, we need your help. You can find over 70 podcasts, underwater creatures, and ways to donate to our nonprofit on our website, meettheocean.org. And now, onto our episode. To begin, we will need to go up. So, let's go. Up and up and up until we reach the clouds. Because that's where the story of a glacier begins. From the dense collection of moisture lifted by the sun's heat and collected in several wispy pillows in the sky. Now that we're here, we should think of what we need. We have air, we have water, but there are still two ingredients necessary in order to make snow. One of them is temperature. It needs to be cold, but not too cold. The other ingredient is something unexpected, something we don't consider because it's all around us. The other ingredient is dust. Dust gives the moisture in the air something to hold on to. The process is called nucleation. And once it begins, the most beautiful geometrical shapes come into being, forming the thinnest ice crystals you can imagine. It's actually hard to believe that eventually this stuff is going to turn into a glacier. But that's because right now, our snowflake is mostly made of air. And once it reaches a certain density, it begins to fall. Whoa. That's a little too fast. Remember, snow is mostly made of air, so it floats rather than sinks. So let's slow it down. There we go. Much more relaxed. Now, a snowflake does not choose where it lands. It might be on a patch of grass or on the outstretched tongue of a child. It really depends on where the wind is blowing, but sometimes snow will land in a high-altitude environment, often tucked in between mountain peaks. Scientists call this the accumulation zone. That's a big word that simply means putting snow on top of other snow. But it's important. Think about it. If a snowflake is made mostly of air, then how does it become thick enough, dense enough, to become the legendary mountain-crushing ice of a glacier? The answer is simple. It melts. Don't worry. It refreezes, and then melts again, and repeats the process over and over for years, high up in the mountains, far from where humans choose to live, and while it's up there, it's changing. Becoming more dense, it starts to look like grains of sugar. We call this granular snow. A few years on, and this composition will start to have more ice than air, getting thicker. We call this substance fern, but not like the ones in the forest. And eventually, after time and gravity have done their work, after all that melting and refreezing have transformed the collection of snowflakes into something other, now the substance is the densest ice on planet Earth. Thick, cold, and in some cases transparent, meaning you can look right through it because the air bubbles have been squeezed down so teeny tiny that the human eye cannot see them anymore. This glacial ice will move down the mountainside with an unyielding weight that carves the valleys and rolls boulders to unknown destinations. All of this from a snowflake. All in all, pretty cool stuff, especially when you think about how it shaped our planet. And if you are wondering what any of this has to do with the ocean, well, sometimes these rivers of ice spill from the mountains and run smack dab into the saltwater. When this happens, a new name for the glacier is born. They become tide water glaciers. And this sets up one of the most spectacular events in nature, when the glacier lets go. It's called calving, when a large piece of ice, sometimes as tall as a skyscraper, can fall into the water from the glacier's face. The sound is so loud, in fact, that the native people of Alaska gave it a name: White Thunder. Now you know not only how a glacier forms, but also that they sometimes interact with the sea. Now, you understand your planet just a little bit better. Congratulations. Meet the Ocean is produced by Paul North and Andrew Gettings, with sound design by Kelsey Anderson and music by Vin Gast. We are a listener-supported nonprofit. You can find more podcasts, underwater creatures, and ways to donate to our educational outreach on our website, meettheocean.org. Subscribe to our podcast to never miss an episode, support us on Patreon, and please rate and review Meet the Ocean on Apple Podcasts or on whatever platform you choose to listen. Until next time, may the saltwater be with you.